Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you are all having a great day to start things off. American Nobel laureate, economist, academic, and best-selling author Robert Shiller claims Bitcoin may be extinct in 100 years and hard forks will be to blame. Nobody can accurately see 100 years into the future, but prominent economist Robert Shiller claims Bitcoin may go the way of the West African black rhinoceros, that is to say, extinct. According to the Yale professor, hard forks will be to blame for the dissolution of the first and foremost cryptocurrency, Shiller told CNBC's Trading Nation. He said, Bitcoin won't look anything like it does today in 100 years. It will have a different name if it exists. There will have been many hard forks changing it, and it'll be a matter of dispute whether it exists or not. Indeed, the amount of Bitcoin hard forks already in existence, numbers above 30, and most notably includes the likes of Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, and Bitcoin Private. A whole slew of less noteworthy forks also exists, including irrelevant coins like Bitcoin God, Bitcoin All, and Bitcoin Smart. Okay, why not? Meanwhile, more hard forks of the market leader are already planned, including Anonymous Bitcoin. What? One may easily argue that the sheer amount of Bitcoin hard forks indeed does very little to benefit the most mainstream cryptocurrency. In fact, there remains a civil war of sorts between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, the fourth largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, with the latter actively making attempts to claim the Bitcoin name for itself while rebranding the former to Bitcoin Core. Adding to the confusion is the fact that a group of developers has recently embraced the Bitcoin Core moniker perpetuated by some Bitcoin Cash proponents, having launched a cryptocurrency under the name BTCC while calling it the real open source peer-to-peer electronic cash. So, when it comes to, there's already a huge issue, as you guys may or may not know, when it comes to Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, and people saying that Bitcoin Cash is the real one. The same exact thing, I think, with Bitcoin Gold, and I want to say Bitcoin Private. They say that this is the original idea that Satoshi had, because a lot of these people keep claiming that they have actually met or know or still keep in contact with Satoshi Nakamoto, which leads to a lot of confusion in the market and amongst people who've been in cryptocurrencies for a while, because first of all, most people don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. So when people start saying that they know who he is, that he's in the background somewhere, says that this is the way that my protocol is supposed to be. If I say even 20 years, no, I gave it 5 years, we're going to have so many hard forks that no one is literally going to be able to understand what's actually going on anymore. Regardless of what you say, I'm more than certain that some of the even like hardcore number one coin, Bitcoin fans, if there's some other type of dispute within the community and someone hard forks again and has something similar that coincides with their beliefs, they're going to end up going to that other coin. And I am almost certain we're going to have around 200 to 300 Bitcoin hard forks or different versions of Bitcoin, whatever you want to call it, within the next 5 to 10 years. It's going to be quite interesting. Even like if you look around, there's a website that shows, I think, like some of the hard forks that are out and some of the ones that are also planned. And it's just kind of out of control at this point. It makes me wonder if Ethereum ever does end up getting the number one spot, if people will simply start hard forking that one as well. I mean, a lot of these, will fall into obscurity, but there's still a lot of people who are putting their money into these things because they see the Bitcoin name. Same exact thing with the whole Bitcoin Cash fiasco, where they were naming it Bitcoin on their website and people were buying it thinking they were getting Bitcoin, but they were getting Bitcoin Cash, and then they wanted their money back, and then a whole lawsuit started. Going to be very interesting times for the number one coin, because this is not going to stop anytime soon. I think there's something like, there are a lot of websites where you're actually allowed to make your own cryptocurrencies, and I think at the moment, there's something like 30,000 actual cryptocurrencies that people around the world have made. Only 1,600 or so have made it to CoinMarketCap. But I can assure you there's a lot more Bitcoin clones out there than we can even begin to believe. Next up, Bittrex is in the news. Prominent U.S. cryptocurrency exchange Bittrex will offer USD, that is US dollars, trading pairs to customers in select states now that it has found a banking partner, the firm announced on Thursday. Bloomberg reports that the Seattle-based exchange has signed a banking agreement with New York-based financial institution Signature Bank that will allow it to begin accepting US dollar deposits and listing cryptocurrencies for trading directly against the dollar. Since its founding in 2013, Bittrex has served as a crypto-to-crypto exchange, facilitating trading between different cryptocurrencies but not against fiat currencies. The venue has listed the USDT, a dollar-pegged stablecoin created by blockchain startup Tether, but this token cannot currently be reliably redeemed for physical greenbacks, that is a dollar. The exchange currently ranks as the world's 18th largest cryptocurrency exchange with a daily volume of approximately $100 million. This will likely increase now that the platform has become one of the small groups of venues to support fiat to crypto trading. It's kind of odd. Like, you would assume that I'm sure there are banks that are kind of stepping forward to say, we'll definitely support you. If they found one, there has to be other banks as well. And I'm shocked that other people don't just go to these banks that they were using before, that other people have been using. Or even the one that I think Coinbase is using. I'm pretty sure they're also using a bank. Just kind of interesting, the shift of kind of what's going on, of banks loving us and then kind of not liking us. You'll see in a couple of minutes. I have another story, and it's quite interesting. It kind of coincides with all of this. Since the announcement from Bittrex, the market looks like it's trying to scooch itself up a tiny bit. I forgot exactly why IOTA is up. There was some type of news, something happened with IOTA. I don't remember. Nothing too significant, but I think, like I said, I think the market is tired of being tired, and anytime number one swings up a tiny bit, everyone else tries to get as much profit as they possibly can. But very good news that this is finally happening, and I hope more places end up announcing fiat pairs, especially those who are moving to Malta very soon, because this is something that is very much needed. People need to find a way to be able to put dollars into it, because it's one of the difficult things when you're trying to get into crypto. You don't have Bitcoin already in your hand to be able to swap to other coins. So let's hope that they eventually get this under control. For the most ridiculous news of the day, and I'm not joking, it gets really, really weird as I read further on. John McAfee has announced the creation of a fiat currency-backed cryptocurrency, the McAfee Redemption Unit, or the MRU. The IMO for this is scheduled for June 25th, according to a tweet published by John McAfee himself, confirming that the McAfee Redemption Unit, the MRU, issuance was not a hoax. No hoax, he said. The McAfee Redemption Unit is real and coming in 26 days. The graphic is low res, don't want to give much away yet, okay? Printed on currency paper, holographs on both sides, serialized, linked to the blockchain, redeemable, convertible, collectible crypto. Sorry for laughing. This is funny because the fact that people thought it was a hoax, because I'm going to show you exactly why people thought it was a hoax. But even more so, he's been talking about making his own cryptocurrency for quite some time now. It's been at least a year that he's been in the news, and people have been saying, oh, he's definitely going to create his own crypto. And there were a lot of people who were backing him. I think it's the same as, what's the other guy's name? Max Kaiser. I think he also created his own crypto coin. But the fact that John McAfee is creating a fiat currency that is backed by crypto is just spectacular. So the news first appeared on a Hindi website suggesting the possibility that the story was a hoax. But John McAfee quickly clarified his intention not only via Twitter, but through direct contact with the website team. Previously, John McAfee had commented on his own intention to create a fiat currency after mentioning the coincidence that a user had sent him a design for a fiat bill without knowing he was actually planning something similar. According to the famous influencer, McAfee Redemption Unit, the MRU, will be the token that will support the fiat money. The McAfee promissory note, the intrinsic value of such a coin will be an amount of time to share with him in a personal meeting. So yeah, apparently you can redeem this if you want to hang out with him. According to Crypto News, McAfee has at least an elaborate preliminary idea of what his fiat currency and its support for crypto would look like, as evidenced by his statements. He said, each McAfee promissory note is denomination and serial number unique, and each note is tied to one or more cryptocurrency coins called McAfee Redemption Units. A coin identifier or list of coin identifiers is distributed with the note as a separate collectible document, a paper wallet. It is expected that this paper wallet will be stored in a separate location from the note. None of the coins are initially activated, however, okay? Coins become activated if and when a note holder chooses to convert his or her fiat note through a process of reverting the notes through the mail or other means. What? To the MRU Foundation, the organization responsible for archiving and caring for the physical notes. There may be a processing fee for conversion. A couple of things. For someone who's so into the crypto revolution, to create a fiat currency is already one thing, but then to have to send it through mail for it to be what in the world was he thinking? I read through this earlier, and I think it didn't hit my head the way that it kind of is now. This is obviously going to happen. Like I said, people thought this was a hoax, and I'll give you two reasons why people thought it was a hoax. First one is if you look at the $100 note down here, the $100 note actually has a shirtless photo of John McAfee, which of course, as you may, is that Roger Ver? As you may, there, I don't think any that I'm aware of, any world currency, any fiat currency has a shirtless photo of the creator on it. But the craziest part to me, after clearly looking through it, is the $1 coin, which is a photo of John McAfee. Look, oh my gosh, there's coke on his nose. John McAfee looking confused with a whole bunch of women touching his person. What in the actual... I'm so sorry. This is completely out of control. When we talk about that we have too many cryptocurrencies, like this is a totally fine photo. I don't understand what he was thinking when he like why are these normal? I'm not going to spend too much time on this at all, but this is like I said, the craziest news of the day. A lot of people, this was floating around yesterday and I think the day before, and a lot of people were like, no, that's not real. He would never ever do something like that, because he was talking about making his own crypto. So we're like, okay, everyone's made their own crypto, so he can definitely do it as well. But let me guys know in the comment section below if you definitely plan on picking up some McAfee paper. It'll be quite interesting. I don't think this is gonna take off, like at all. If it does, there's no hope for the world anymore if this ends up taking off. TRON is in the news. So the same exact thing that the people behind EOS did, TRON is also doing to be safe. The TRON mainnet is the most talked about event today in the cryptocurrency space, because they have officially moved over to their mainnet or something like that. They have been smooth through the journey and successfully launched the mainnet. There have not been any errors noticed anywhere, and to reflect their confidence in the work and their release, Justin Sun, the founder of TRON, announced a bounty a few hours ago after the mainnet hassle. He announced a reward of the huge sum to anybody from the developers community, or in general, who can report or spot a glitch in their mainnet. Anyway, he said anybody is welcome to test the mainnet until the migration of tokens begins on June 25th. This means that the reward program is open from tomorrow until the 24th of June. He said in a tweet, calling all developers, TRON mainnet is live on GitHub, and we're offering up to $100,000 in bug bounty rewards. Bring your A game. So apparently it goes from $100 to $100,000. I wonder what exactly warrants a $100 reward from the TRON people. It would be, no, it's not funny. I was gonna say it'd be really interesting if someone found like a major, huge flaw, ended up destroying the mainnet, and then was like, found a bug, give me the 100K. Like I said, not funny. I'm sure people are actively looking to destroy this blockchain. If you look around for news about the coins that are going to be launching very soon, especially when it comes to EOS, there are people actively like binding together to destroy, who are planning or are trying to destroy the blockchain as it is being built for EOS. I'm sure they're doing it for TRON as well. So, I mean, it's smart on their part, because eventually, people who are working on it can't find every single problem. So it's good to try to protect your network. Let's see if they actually end up finding anything, because sometimes they don't, but oftentimes there always is one little thing that can be exploited. But just interesting that they have noted $100,000. That's a huge amount of money to be able to find a flaw in your network. Next up, this is quite interesting, and I like the shift of where this has gone. A deputy director for the International Monetary Fund's Monetary and Capital Markets Department, that was ridiculous, believes that crypto central banks need to offer better fiat currencies in order to fend off any potential competition from cryptocurrencies. The suggestions came in an article published on Thursday, penned by Deputy Director Dong Hee. In that article, which boasts the tagline, "Crypto assets may one day reduce demand for central bank money," which is already happening, he argues that central banks may want to consider adopting some of the concepts in order to forestall the competitive pressure crypto assets may exert on fiat currencies. It's a notable statement and one that echoes past remarks from he as well as other IMF officials, including Director Christine Lagarde. Indeed, Lagarde back in March said during an event that regulators should deploy some elements of the tech in order to fight fire with fire. His argument in the latest piece is based on the possibility that should cryptocurrencies and crypto assets see wider adoption, there's a chance that central banks will lose their ability to influence the economy through tactics such as interest rate changes. The deputy director suggested that tightening regulation could provide a boost for central banks. Sure. Second, government authorities should regulate the use of crypto assets to prevent regulatory arbitrage and any unfair competitive advantage crypto assets may derive from lighter regulation. He wrote, "This means rigorously applying measures to prevent money laundering and the financing of terrorism, strengthening consumer protection, and effectively taxing crypto transactions." A couple of things. Years ago, when people used to speak about cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin in general, the entire argument that they had every single time was that Bitcoin was used on the dark web. People were buying drugs with it. Only horrible people are using this. Why would anyone want to use it? But at the time, they didn't realize that people weren't really listening to them. People saw the benefits of cryptocurrencies and started getting into the market. Whenever people talk negatively about cryptocurrencies now, it's always the trifecta. It's always money laundering, consumer protection, and taxation, which, can't say that on the air, is completely ridiculous because this is kind of the golden thing. I've noticed this is what they say now because about even 6-7 months ago, whenever people spoke about it on the news, they constantly brought up, people lost money in Mt. Gox, and they would say, well, that was 2013. And they would go, well, a lot of people using it on the dark web. And they go, well, we know, Monero and other coins are being used on the dark web. So those arguments were completely mute. Like it was, there was no, chance for them anymore. But now it's constantly about money laundering, because if you argue against money laundering, you are in the eyes of the government and other people. I don't want to say brainwashed, and other people who are used to these laws. You are a criminal and you're an evil person, because the moment you say that people should have control over their money, this comes into play, and they go, but what about the terrorists? And you obviously can't side with the terrorists because they're awful people. So it's kind of like, where do you go from there? The entire consumer protection thing is a complete lie in every single possible way. The people who keep crashing the world's economy every 8 years don't exactly care about the average consumer. If you were around, I assume you were, for the 2018 market crash, world leaders, when all these people lost their jobs and were losing all this money and you had to foreclose on their homes and stuff like that, world leaders were telling people to get back out there and spend their money to re-strengthen the economy. So you can steal money from people and then tell them to use what money they don't have on credit to then boost your economy that you just helped destroyed. So they don't really give a crap about consumer protection. And when it comes to taxation, this is what I believe it all boils down to, is that they want to make sure, at least for me, in my head, that crypto is taxed and regulated so hard that people either don't want to use it or it seems unusable compared to normal taxation. And as in, if you're filing for your taxes and you have to pay 30% on your taxes and crypto is taxed 38%, people will start to shy away from the cryptocurrency market. But I'm glad that other almost like companies, other countries are starting to recognize the benefits of this is exactly what I said. When people start to realize exactly the benefits of this, all the cryptocurrency exchanges who are leaving their countries and are going to these warm, sunnier climates, when these countries finally realize exactly what they're letting go, this is when they'll start to say, oh, please come back to our country. It's not going to happen because they're already in another place that benefits them a bit more. And they're trying, I mean, I was telling my friend, I think for us, because we're on the other side of the fence, to us, we understand exactly what's going on and we see the coming storm, if you will. But for them, they've been in this economic bubble for at least 200, 250 years, as long as the current economic system has kind of been in place. So when you've been in power for that long and you see something that is only 9 years old that has the potential to kind of destroy what you've made, it has to be scary in some sort of way. You have to understand, you have to look at it from their side at a certain point. We have seen banks and institutions who have kind of embraced, we have seen countries and cities and stuff like that who are embracing cryptocurrencies. So I assume this is only going to spread as time goes on. But I found this incredibly interesting. I find the entire, the talks that they're having, and when you actually watch any of them that may be live or have been filmed, so you can watch it on YouTube and stuff like that, they're kind of difficult to find because a lot of times they don't want to be filmed talking about the things that they're talking about. But it's interesting to notice like their smug faces to see exactly what they're talking about, how they're talking about it. They believe in their hearts that the system that currently exists is the best one. Like there is no doubt in their mind that nothing should be able to break through the stronghold that they have. But all these people are extremely wealthy and, they don't want to let it go. I didn't mean to spend, 99 minutes on this one article, but it's incredibly interesting to read these things because you can see the difference in things that I'm reading about the International Monetary Fund and other banks and institutions and other things around the world who are trying to embrace cryptocurrencies. But it's, the higher ups, they understand, it says it right in the article, they understand that I give it 10 years. If they don't really do anything, crypto will become so large that they will literally have no chance anymore. And I have a feeling that this is exactly what's going to happen because just a lot of stuff is going on. It's just way too much to talk about. It kind of gets me all riled up if you have not noticed the last couple of minutes in this video. Next up, Huobi is in the news. Cryptocurrency trading platform Huobi is launching a crypto-based exchange-traded fund, or an ETF, an investment option that will allow retail investors to gain exposure to a basket of assets instead of just one at a time. The company said in an announcement on Friday that the investment instrument called HB10 is now open for subscriptions, but only accepts purchases using cryptos instead of fiat currencies. According to the announcement, the new product will replicate the Huobi 10 index, which was recently launched to track 10 different assets on Huobi Pro Exchange in real time based on their market capitalization and liquidity. As previously reported by CoinDesk, the index uses weighted samples to reflect the overall market performance on Huobi Pro. By tracking that, Huobi touts the HB10 will help to diversify risk for retail investors while giving them exposure to major cryptocurrency assets. Very good to hear news like this. I always like when not even just things that are, on crypto exchanges and stuff like that, but I like cryptocurrency backed things, especially when people have access to like a batch of it, if you want to call it. Before I got into cryptocurrencies, I was really into mutual funds, which, if you don't know, is pretty much like you own a portion of multiple different countries at the exact same time. And it's very nice to know that you hold, especially I'm sorry, for these people when they get into it, that they will be holding multiple cryptocurrencies at the exact same time. Very, very cool. Last up, Ethereum is in the news and something very significant has happened. Ethereum, the second ranked cryptocurrency, has now overtaken Bitcoin based on the number of unique addresses. While the stat itself doesn't in itself tell the full story, another surprising statistic has emerged. Ethereum has for the first time surpassed Bitcoin in the number of active addresses, with some experts believing that the so-called flippening is at hand. This news might be a precursor to the event. According to the figures on Etherscan, there are now 35 million unique Ethereum addresses. This figure represents a 100% increase since December 2017. The second-ranked crypto based on market cap is reportedly adding an average of 100,000 addresses per day. A comparison with Bitcoin is no longer possible since the main blockchain explorer doesn't provide data on unique addresses anymore. However, the last known figures for Bitcoin addresses was 24 million in March. At the time, Ethereum's figure stood at 31 million, a difference of 7 million. Sorry, I went cross-eyed for some reason. Anyway, it's important to note that 35 million addresses doesn't mean that there are 35 million Ethereum users. One person can have more than one cryptocurrency address. Also, smart contracts also count as addresses in Ethereum. However, Coinbase does list 20 million users. That's insane. And the FSA of Japan says there are 3.5 million users in Japan. Adding figures from South Korea, the total number of Ethereum users might not be too far away from 35 million. One thing, though, is sure, Ethereum now has more active addresses than Bitcoin. There are 550,000 active Ethereum addresses and 472,000 Bitcoin addresses that are active. I had no idea that Coinbase had 20 million users. That's actually insane. I was thinking about it before, and I was trying to figure out think about how many people were actually in cryptocurrency. And for some reason in my head, I was like, it would be cool if we had 1 million people who were into crypto around the world. But even from what I hear about what's happening in the US, I know old friends and stuff like that from like when I was growing up who their families have cryptocurrencies. I know multiple people who have crypto, so I didn't even really think that there are millions upon millions of people around the world who are into crypto. That's actually kind of insane. I wonder how much more this will grow as the prices grow, because of all the news that we've had about banks opening crypto accounts and stuff like that. I'm sure they're eventually going to, I give it 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. We're going to start having banks who have been buying up crypto this entire time, like I've been saying, and they're going to start actually selling the crypto to people at their normal bank accounts. Because I'm pretty sure Bank of America, I think they partnered with Ripple or something like that. I'm not sure. So I'm pretty sure they're already in the game in some type of way. Very interesting to see. I'm still hopeful that sometime this summer, not 2019, that Ethereum launches all their upgrades or announces that they are ready, because I'm so certain that Ethereum is going to pass Bitcoin. But I don't know what that's going to do to the market. A lot of people are afraid of this transition. I, for one, I'm completely ready. I'm tired of, you can hate me if you want, really don't care. I'm tired of Bitcoin controlling the entire market. And I like Ethereum, and I like that there's a face to the project. I gotta know. Guess it's just me. Let's see if the flippening actually ends up happening this year. Alrighty, everyone. That is definitely going to do it for this video. I think I drained myself when I was talking about the IMF. Hope you guys have a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. This is ridiculous. Thank you once again for all the support. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far to the end of the video, thank you even more. Thank you once again, and I will talk to you all soon. See you.